My name is Robert Jappie. I'm head of the Cannabis Law Department at Mackrell Turner Garrett. We are the UK's first dedicated cannabis law department. We set up just over a year ago. We currently act for a number of CBD companies, licensed producers, medicinal cannabis companies based in the UK and Europe and also internationally as well. We also act for CBD trade bodies in the UK, so we've been to Brussels and presented on issues that challenge like the novel foods matter. And we are currently recognised as one of the UK's foremost legal experts on the cannabis sector. The firm itself is a very well established firm. When I joined about almost 3 years ago now, this idea of a cannabis law department is something I've been playing around with. So my background is actually criminal defence. I was a criminal defence lawyer for about 10 years. During that period, I took some time out and I went and worked for a charity called Release, which is a drugs and human rights charity. And that's where my interest in drug policy started. So when I came to Mackrell Turner Garrett, I went and had a chat with a managing partner. And I said, I think cannabis is going to be big in the UK and Europe. I think there's a real opportunity here. He was actually very receptive to the idea because we have this Mackrell international network of firms around the world. Our US and Canadian law firms, the partner firms, had already been doing huge amounts of cannabis work for several years. So he gave me his full blessing and he said, let's go for it. So we did our due diligence on the sector. We found there was already a well-established CBD industry here in the UK, so we thought that was a good entry point. And it's exceeded our expectations. You know, we don't just represent companies in the CBD sector, we represent growers, we represent medicinal cannabis companies. We're even representing some recreational cannabis companies overseas who are planning for changes in the law in Europe as things progress. The current regulatory regime, not just here in the UK but in Europe as well, is poorly drafted. It's a mishmash of different bits of laws and regulations, and as you say, this results in lots of grey areas. So when we arrived on the scene, we were welcomed with open arms. Businesses were crying out for some guidance from lawyers to tell them what they could and couldn't do. We have done our best to interpret the laws in a pro-business way. There needs to be more regulation. You know, I would say that because I'm a lawyer, but people need to know what the standards expected of their products are. What regulation does is it brings confidence to consumers that they're getting quality products. Consumer confidence leads to market stability. That's what we're after here. We're looking for a sustainable industry with room to grow and less interference from domestic regulators because they can be satisfied that consumers are protected by the regulatory framework that's been put in place. What it comes down to is about a company's appetite for risk. So most companies, they will want to be compliant. They don't have a great appetite for risk. Getting advice from a lawyer, what that helps is reduce that risk as much as possible. But cannabis is a risk sector. Anybody who's operating in this business does have a little bit of appetite for it, and you know, that's why companies have to push the boundaries and try new things in this business. Now's the time. This is the tipping point where interest is going to start ramping up in a big way. So if someone is thinking about getting into the industry now, this is exactly the right moment. In terms of CBD, there is still a huge amount of potential for growth. So we are advising clients that short to mid-term, CBD is great. Plenty of money to be made, lots of opportunities. The range of applications that CBD can be used for, cosmetics, toiletries, ingestibles, vaping. There's so many opportunities for investors and entrepreneurs. Long term, you're going to have to think about different strategies. It might be medicines, it might be recreational. There's still so much development to happen in the law that there are going to be numerous opportunities. I think it's going to be fascinating to be in a room with people who have been in the industry longer than I have. It's one thing to come into cannabis in a year's time and suddenly I'm an expert. These guys have been involved in the industry 3, 4, 5 years and they're all involved in different aspects of it. So the quality of the conversations is going to be high and there's going to be a range of different opinions. I can learn more from sitting in a room with these guys for an hour than I can reading all the law books and all the articles and all that kind of stuff. You know, these people know the law better than I do in some cases. So for me, it's a wonderful learning experience. I had a tremendous day on the Sunday. I'm devastated I didn't come on the Saturday because I hear it was so well attended and everybody was telling me what a brilliant day it was. And so I was there on the Sunday. I had the opportunity to speak at the event as well, which was really fun. But I was even incredibly impressed with the attendance on the Sunday too. But yeah, apparently Saturday was crazy. So this time around in September, I'm looking forward to being there both days. So I'll be speaking on the Saturday and the Sunday. I think that's really nice for attendees there because they are either established businesses or new business owners or potential entrepreneurs. For people in that industry to see a lawyer who's actually got frontline experience of dealing with day-to-day issues that cannabis businesses have to address. It's a great opportunity for people to get a bit of free legal advice and to try and hear about the sort of pitfalls that they will need to avoid as their business grows. It's an opportunity to meet well-established people in the industry all in one place. The amount of networking you can do in a short space of time is phenomenal. And in fact, we've had such positive experiences at the previous show. Mackrell Turner Garrett will have its own stand at the show in September. So we're looking forward to being there, meeting all the delegates and all the attendees. It's a great opportunity to learn and to make connections that you can use to move your business forward.